Hey, it's Amethyst Virgo, so I'm going to talk a little bit about spirituality and trends and what's going on in the spiritual community in general. So firstly, what I want to say is, you have noticed a lot more talk about spirituality. You see a lot more mainstream. You see magazines or outlets that never used to talk about spirituality now have an astrology section, or they're talking about chakras and all these things. It's trendy, it's in. We have the Neptune and Pisces transit. We've been in that for about 7-8 years. We're going to be in there for another 7 years or so. And I believe, and so what's interesting is a lot of people have become interested in astrology and in tarot and in spiritual practices and in, law of attraction and all those different things, manifestation, soulmates, twin flame, all these things have gotten big. Now, here's the thing. We live in a society that drives off money and obviously people making money off certain things. So you're making money off of it. People want to make money off everything. And so what you'll see is you're going to see it sold. You're going to see spirituality sold. You're going to see people peddling certain things and promising things. The thing about spirituality, most people who are really legit don't really promise you anything. They don't promise you your life is going to change. It's going to be amazing. Really don't. It's you trust that you know how to do something. And the thing I think about spirituality is nothing wrong with selling a product. There are people who sell candles with your birth date on it. There are people that sell certain things. There's nothing wrong with advertising your services. The problem I have sometimes is people who haven't done the work, right? Ask them. Ask somebody that you're buying something from. What's your spiritual journey? What has it been like? Is that person forthcoming with their spiritual journey? Right? That's going to tell you, are they honest about the things that they struggled with? That's going to tell you something, because spiritual people are not perfect. Here's where we need to get into the meat of this. 1, spirituality is not about vanity. Sure, if somebody's into spirituality or spiritual or spells, you could do something where maybe you could do a beauty spell, something like that, right? So I'm not saying that that's not possible. I'm not saying that certain people don't do those things, but I'm talking about when people get really specific about spiritual people. Oh, why did so-and-so buy a reading from that person? Have you looked at them? Oh, they don't got this. They don't have that. They don't have this. First of all, spirituality has the word spirit in it. Spirit can't be seen. Therefore, when you're thinking about spirituality and spiritual people, you're going from within. And if you can't go within, then maybe you're not there yet. Because I'll see things like people say, well, that person, they have all that power of manifestation. Why don't they look like a model? Why don't they do this? I think that we have to understand that if you're spiritual, you already know this. Some people are not here to gain or get for themselves. Some of you have north nodes in places, and I've done readings for people, and some people's north node is you can take it easy this lifetime. You had a hard one last time. You can take it a little easy. Some people, it's oh, you have a spiritual mission. Some people have Chiron connected to their north node, and they have their north node in a certain house and certain things that just, correlate in the chart. Oh, you're on a spiritual mission. And sometimes your spiritual mission, you're not here to just get for yourself. You are here to maybe help other people, because maybe in a past life, if you believe in past lives, you didn't do that. So you're here to learn something. So it is a problem when people think that you're supposed to use your spiritual abilities to make a perfect life. That's not the point of spirituality, right? It's to understand and sense the purpose and the deeper meaning, and to be inspired and to understand the connectivity. That's the real thing of spirituality, connectivity. Wow, you do so much chart, you're like, oh, this all connects together. Or you read a tarot reading for someone, they're like, oh, yeah. It's about universalism. And the problem is materialism, vanity, all right, being perfect, being superficial is not a part of spirituality. It's not supposed to be. Again, I'm not saying you can't do a spell, or some people who are into spells. You can do a manifestation if you want to improve your health or look better, lose weight or look better, whatever. I'm not saying you can't do those things. I'm saying that if it's your main purpose is to look good, oh, let me do a spell, I want to look good, you're really not channeling that. Your first experience with spirituality should not be, I want this thing. It should be, I felt this. I had a premonition. I knew that. I sensed it. I used my intuition. I picked up the cards and I just knew what to do. My family background, da 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 da. Right? So like my first experiences with spirituality, I remember being a kid. I remember my mom telling me stories about my great grandmother and just things that she would know without knowing. My great grandmother passed away when I was young, so I didn't have a lot of time to spend with her, but my mom would tell me stories. And then my mom is not as into this stuff as I am, but she is part of the reason why I had access to it, because she always had astrology books around. And when I was 15, I wanted tarot cards, and like, I didn't know if she was going to say yes. She said yes. She's always, been cool with this type of stuff. So that's my first experience with it. It wasn't, I was trying to get a boyfriend. I was trying to get cute. I was trying to do this. And sometimes I'll hear people saying they were getting into spirituality because they want this guy, they want this girl, they want this love. And it's like, that should not be the reason you're doing it. Can some people have stories of manifesting the love of their life and all that? Yes. But your first experience with spirituality, think about it. What is it? It should be a feeling. You could say you knew that person was the one for you. There was too many coincidences. That's your twin flame, whatever. If you're into twin flames and that's your experience, you could say that. I'm not discounting that. I'm discounting people who say, oh, I want a quick fix. Your spirituality has to be within. Then you can get the stuff, right? Then you can, see the ways in which you can use it. You can use it. Don't get me wrong. Things that are harder to obtain in life or could be a barrier, I do believe you should manifest. Now, I believe in practical manifestation, meaning, do I think I manifested the house that I bought? Yes. But did I have to keep working to get it? Did I have to make sure all my paperwork was down to a T? Yes. Did I write it out ahead of time? 2 years before I even bought my house, I have a journal entry where I talk about what I wanted in a house. And the house I bought pretty much was that. So yes, but the thing with manifestation, you can't say to somebody, well, why can't you manifest $1 million? Because I believe we are still in this physical realm. You still have to follow physical rules to some degree, correct? So therefore, if I still have to go to this person and get my, sign my paperwork. I still have to work with another person. It's harder to manifest for things that are global because you can really manifest more so in your personal life, right? People might say, well, why can't you just manifest racism away? Why can't we just manifest sexism away? Why can't we just manifest poverty away? Why can't we just manifest that away? But really, it's coming from within, and it's you matching the universe. And if everybody decided to manifest at one time, maybe we would have, a more peaceful world. So that's what we have to talk about. That if your reason for getting into something is for a fake reason, of course it's not going to work. Or of course you're going to lose interest because you already got what you wanted. Oh, you manifest. Oh, you want to get into spirituality. You want a reading because you want a boyfriend. You want a girlfriend. Okay. You want this person that might not even matter in 5 years. Okay. Okay. Some of the people worry about, I'm like, this person's not even going to be in your life in 3 years, but I can't say that because I don't want to, sometimes you don't want to crush people with that. But like, you wanted the girl, you wanted the guy, you got them. Now you're done. What more work is there to do? Because to you, you're like, well, that's what I wanted. I wasn't doing this because it's me. When spirituality becomes a part of you and every day you're doing something and you realize it's not perfect and you're going to have your ups and downs. That's the other thing. When you're dealing with spiritual people, you're getting readings, you're talking to them, they are human beings. Okay? They are human beings. And so a lot of times people want something from you. It's all about how you say it. You have to address spiritual people. Is it a medium you're going to? Is it a tarot reader? Is it somebody reading your chakras? Who is it, right? A spiritual advisor. They're human beings. Speak to them like they have problems too. So that's why some of them can understand what you're going through. If someone is telling you, I have all the answers, I can make your life perfect, that's a lie. Nobody's life is perfect. Even these tarot readers, astrologers, people who do the work, we're constantly revising things. I don't know everything, so that's why sometimes I'll take a break. I'll take an energy break from readings. I'm not doing any readings, and I'm going to just research and study and test out different theories, right? Because you can't just sit in something and say, I know everything, and I'm not going to ever revise anything, and I'm just going to, right? You can be firm in what you know. You can be confident in what you know, right? but we have to be careful with it. And even the way in which people, like you see, I respond, first of all, to me, my moon's in the 4th house. My Venus is in the 11th house. What does that matter? Jupiter's in the 6th house in Aquarius. Okay, what does that matter, right? What does any of that matter? And I'm Mercury and Leo. To me, personability, if someone's asking something from me, I do look at like, what is the relationship ahead of time? So when people want something from people online, like YouTubers or Instagram people, and it's like, you're asking this person like they're not a human being. You can say hi first. Hey, can you help me with this? Or I was wondering this. So to me, I just match people's energy, because it's like, you have to learn how to speak to people. Don't view spiritual people as a object to go to. And they're, if you ever went, remember, like if you ever gone to like a carnival or like some arcade place and they have the fortune teller thing in the booth. It's a fortune teller thing in a case, and it'll like you put a quarter in or whatever, and it'll tell you the fortune. Like you've seen them at like an arcade or like a bowling alley or a carnival or something like that. It's like people think sometimes these spiritual people are that, right? Like, let me go to you and demand you help me out. So I don't mind helping people, but I do have boundaries, and I do have ways in which I communicate with people, and I do have things that I sense from people. So if someone isn't bothering to establish a good relationship with me when they're asking for something, I'm already turned off. I'm already like, I don't know you. Why? Would you go up to somebody on the street and say, hey, I'm suffering right now. I'm depressed. Can you help me? You would not. You would not. You would build a relationship with that person. You would at least say, hi, good morning, how are you? So I want us to understand that community part of spirituality. And there's twofold. One, people who are promising you they're going to fix everything. No, you need to fix it, right? In my work, in my readings, I give people homework. I have homework in my own chart. I have things I'm working on. I have things I'm working towards. I have things that I've healed by using aspects of my chart. So I'm not just telling you to do something. I've done it. Chiron, I've worked on my Chiron. Okay, I've worked on it and I've seen it. And I've worked on my 12th house placements and I've seen the growth. So the first thing is definitely understanding that part of it, but also the part is also that people have to realize that it's a community spirit. I'm trying to connect to you. And so somebody is not trying to connect to you and they just want to take your money, right? Like when I get readings, I have a wait list. I probably have 20 people on there right now, maybe more. I wait until I have time to do those readings. I don't just take people's money and then say, oh, you'll get it in 5 months. That's why I have a wait list. I have to pause and say, wait, if I wanted to, I could do that. Just like, yeah, give me the money. No. So my point is that, it's about a connectivity. It's a relationship. When you are doing spiritual work for someone, when you are getting spiritual work, there should be some type of exchange energetically. Right? If you're not exchanging money, there's been people online that I've helped, but it's an exchange. It's not, tell me what this means. What? First of all, see, no. Like you cannot tell somebody you don't know what to do. People online are human beings. And if you want a reader to really understand you, you got to connect to them. You can't, they're not this object in a carnival, in a booth, waving their hand over a crystal ball and telling you what's going to happen. You're going to get a better reading when you connect to that person, because now there's an energy flow and an energy exchange. There are people that I do readings for that I feel a better energy for when I'm doing it. There's people's charts. Click, I connect immediately to their charts. Immediately. There are some people where it's harder for me to connect to their charts. And it could be other reasons for that. Maybe it's a challenging chart. Maybe the person energetically is kind of blocked off, because I obviously interpret, analyze, but I also like to use my intuition when I'm doing people's charts as well, to put things in there that I might put in for you that I wouldn't put in for your brother who has the same sign. But the point is connectivity, and it goes both ways. And I do think that, when it comes to people in the spiritual community, it really has to also be, it's universal. We have to understand it. Intuition, where'd you get that from? Oh, you knew something about that person, but you didn't really know it, but you sensed it. Where'd that come from? There's some other layer to that. There's some other component to that. We get things all the time. I don't know why I felt that way, but I just knew that wasn't it. Or I knew that this was going to happen. This was some minor stuff. One time, this is a couple years ago, I got an email that there was going to be a meeting. at work. It was a meeting. And I was like, oh my goodness, another meeting. But something just like, oh, it's going to be canceled. And I don't know what told me that, because there was nothing at all. And it was minor. So intuition doesn't always have to mean big things. Sometimes it is. But where did that come from? Because this is a whole nother topic about thoughts being exchanged, right? And I forgot what it's called, law of connection or something, where it's like, if you know something and I know something, we don't technically have to be in the same room for me to know what you know, right? So I forgot, there's a specific term that I'm thinking of for that, but perhaps that was the situation, right? So the point with it really is that it's this bigger thing: spirituality, connectivity, humanitarianism. Jupiter is going to go in Pisces soon. It's a great time to reconnect with that idea of universalism, of connecting to other people. It's not just gimme, gimme, gimme. Yes, you have people who, there's a whole nother topic of people who use magic to get power. That's a different topic. But are you trying to get power? Or are you just trying to live your life? What are you trying to do? I want power over what I deserve to have power over. I want power over myself. I want to empower myself. I don't need power over you. Maybe I do want to, I have certain goals and I want to influence more people in a positive way. But we have to also understand that what it's about, right? What it's really about and what it's becoming, because we have too many people that want it quick. Oh, I want this, I'm going to magic. I want this, I'm going to a tarot reader. Tell me how to get this. First of all, everyone's saying, tell me everything that I need to know about my life. First of all, you're not supposed to know everything about your entire life at one time. How many things would you not do if you knew that it's going to be difficult? How many things would you have stopped doing if someone said, no, actually, you're going to struggle for 2 years before you actually get to where you want to get to? Okay? We have to understand those things, that a psychic, a tarot reader, a medium, everybody has limitations, because you're supposed to do the work too. You're supposed to do the work. And so that's the thing that I'm trying to understand when we talk about spirituality, is someone can give you a reading, but you also have to be willing to receive the message and connect the dots yourself. The best readings, listen, I'm really thorough, but sometimes I'll say something and the other person's like fills in the gaps, because I'm like, okay, your chart shows that there's a really, really strong feminine influence in your life, but they're, they don't live near you. I don't know. You can find a lot of not weird, but interesting things in this chart. Someone that you used to be close to, and someone's like, oh yeah, that was my aunt. She lives overseas, but she raised me. See what I'm saying? You have to be willing to connect the dots in your own readings as well. No matter how thorough, how correct, how accurate that person is. I just got an email after we read it. She wrote me a really long email. I'm gonna read it, but at the time when I got it, I was busy. But I did a reading for her, and she wrote me a really long email telling me what corresponded. She told me what resonated. And that helps me as a reader see, one, no matter how good you are at something, it is good to know that what you said resonated with someone. So thank you for anyone who comments on the videos as well. And like, she's filled in, she like explained, yeah, you said this and that. Yep, this is this. I love that, because she's doing the work. You have to do the work. And so in the spirituality realm, please understand that people are going to sell you gimmicks. They're going to promise things. There's going to be people who don't even know, can't tell you where their spiritual journey started, but they're selling you something. They're selling you something. They're promising you something, right? They're promising you something, and some of it's a gimmick. Some people are legitimately into spirituality. Some people legitimately want to know more. I know so many people that have developed on their spiritual journey personally. So I'm not saying getting into it means you're fake. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, what are you trying to get out of it? This is a way of life for me. At this point, it's a way of life. It is a way of life to do certain things. It's just a way of life to manifest, to sometimes read tarot, to do charts, to check transits, to, when something doesn't make sense literally, I know it's something else. That's intuition. That's that's understanding, wait, there's something I'm missing to this. No matter how much I try to use the physical world to explain this, it doesn't work. That means it's something spiritual. Again, I'm not saying I know everything. I am not saying I know everything. That's why I read so much. That's why I have so many books. That's why there's other YouTubers I watch who are legitimate and do the work. That's the thing I want us to understand about people. Who's doing the work on themselves? Who's honest? Who's reflective? Okay, that's why you see so many tarot readers, astrologers, spiritual workers, energy workers pause. Oh, they've been gone for 2 months. They had to recollect their energy, right? Or they've been gone. They tell you, I can't do it yet. There's sometimes I'm really good with delivery dates because I'm a Virgo and I'm like, I gotta give you that reading on the date I said I was gonna give it. But there's times where energetically I'm like, no, I can't do that. I'm gonna wait, maybe a day late or later, because something comes to me later on that's more beneficial to your reading. But again, I'm obsessed with time, so I typically deliver it when I say I'm going to deliver it. And if there's ever a delay, it's only like a day or two. I tell the people up front because I like to know when Amazon's going to be late. I want to know, right? Where's my stuff, right? I'm waiting on something now, not from Amazon, but that's a whole different conversation. So I want to know where my stuff is. You guys want to know where your stuff is. And I don't want to rant about this, but I know that this message will connect to someone. I'm not an expert on everything. I've never said I was. That's why sometimes people will ask me to do certain types of videos and I'm like, cool, got you. And some people I'm like, actually, this astrologer is better at that. There are some things I just don't talk about on my channel. There are things that I might think other people explain better. There's certain things about astrology that I just personally am not into. But someone else might be into that. They might be better able to explain to you that. And I prefer to do it this way. So I'm going to explain this. So this video is not me saying I own spirituality or that I know everything. I don't. But the point is, it has to be authentic. It has to come from an authentic place. If people are trying to make it superficial, right? All of a sudden you have people judging all these people, making mean-spirited comments. But you think people should come to you for advice. I'm real. Be real. I'm not saying don't be real. There's people who are real and they're blunt and they have a good style about them. Be yourself. If yourself, whatever yourself is, I'm not saying you can't be yourself. There's people who they're blunt, they're to the point, but people like that. You see what I'm saying? It's them being authentic to themselves. My point though is it's different being blunt and being mean-spirited. Being a mean person and showing that online. Now, don't get me wrong. Somebody says something crazy, I'm going to defend myself, right? But you're never going to see me provoking people. You're never going to see me starting with somebody. I'll end it, but I'm not starting. I don't have time. So understand that it doesn't mean the spiritual person you're going to has a perfect life, right? I want us to be careful of making spiritualists or readers deities. They're not. We're not. We're human. We're going through the same stuff as you, which is why we can relate to you, which is why we can say something. And you're like, yes, I've been through that because we're human beings. We're going through this human experience with you. So understanding that, do not expect these people to be perfect. There can be amazing readers, but one part of their life is a mess. But you're not going to them for that. You're not going to them for that, right? Wisdom. Last thing I want to say about wisdom. Well, why do you think people in the past used to listen to their elders more? That's a whole other video. Fourth house people. We have a respect for tradition in a way, or we have a respect for people who came before us, the fourth house, home where you come from, your roots. We have a connection to that if you're a fourth house person. Now, interesting for me, I have Sag there in Capricorn, Placidus. So I understand new and I understand trying to reinvent something, trying to expand something. And I also understand tradition and why things were done a certain way. And a lot of times we want to throw out everything traditional. And a lot of times we want to make everything new. But it's a mixture of both, I think, that we have to do with certain things, society, and to really look at those things. And so the point is, this loss of caring about the thoughts of people who were elders. There's a loss there of respect. And certain cultures used to have a lot of respect for their elders because it was this idea that you've been through something that I haven't. And even if you're not perfect and you didn't live a perfect life, you know something I don't know, right? There's a respect level there. And a lot of people, if you grew up around somebody older than you who had that wisdom, you know what I'm talking about. And I think with that, what we have to understand, again, vanity, superficial. We all partake in a society where things are a little bit superficial. We want to care about how we look. I'm not saying don't care about how you look. That's not what I'm saying. I do agree we should be presentable. Okay, I'm not saying that. We all can do different things to ourselves. I'm not saying we can't. My point is, You can have an old man come to walk down the street, one tooth in his mouth, you know, he got a trench coat on, his beard is all disheveled, and tell me something, and I'm like, wow, you're right. When I'm talking about wisdom and knowledge, I don't care what someone looks like. If you're trying to date, now attraction is important, do what you need to do. But I want us to be very careful of thinking that we have, oh, look at them. Oh, they don't look like. Yes, presentation is important, but if somebody has something to teach me, I'm a moon and Sag, I can learn from anybody. And I know when to take something from somebody and say, I'm gonna leave the rest. See what I'm saying? The problem is, and I don't want to go on a rant, because you know I can go on a rant about the society, is like people hear one thing they don't like, and it might not even be offensive, but they hear one thing and they're like, I don't like you, I'm canceling you. And it's like, actually, that you agree with 75% of what that person says, you only disagree with the 25. They didn't offend you. What's the problem? You just don't agree with them in that video. That's fine. You don't need to say it. I don't agree with you. It's like, again, that's a whole different conversation about everybody needing to tell somebody what they think. And it doesn't matter sometimes. Like, nobody's going to change their mind. Having dialogue with people is great. It's beautiful. You can have little disagreements here and there. But that's the point I wanted to make about spirituality. The last point is just about, you know, understanding that ancient knowledge, ancient wisdom, it doesn't look like what you think it would look. It's spirit, it's feeling. And there is a beauty level to it. Especially if we're looking at the fact of, like, by beauty, I mean, it's a gentle, it's a calm energy. It's I see you for what you are. That type of beauty is spirituality, 12th house energy, Piscean energy. I'm not saying you have to only be in the 12th house. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that's where the energy comes from or emanates from. We all have energies in our chart. But yes, wisdom and knowledge and all those things, it's not always wrapped up in a perfect package. Spirit. Okay, spirit. We can try to look good, we can fix ourselves. I'm all for that. But spirit is not about that. So anything superficial is not spirituality. Anything that's spirituality is going to be something authentic, and it comes from within, and it can't be quantified, and it can't be measured, and it can't be, ooh, likes and clicks and all these things and all this type of attention. Because it's really, spirituality is not supposed to be about attention. We can get likes on our videos, and we can get people who like what we have to say. That's cool, it's great. But we have to go back to the origin of what all of this is. And that is why you will see. And sometimes I'll have people tell me, oh, you should have way more subscribers than this. Like, you do good content. I really appreciate that, because no, I'm not glitz and glamour, and I'm not in my personal life anyway. So why would you know? I just come with the knowledge, the facts, the information, the spiritual stuff, the experiences, being honest as I can be about things. And I get that, because there are people who have large followings, and they're real, they're legit. There are people who have large followings, and it's packageable. You can neatly package the person up, and you can sell that, and you can say, look at spirituality, look at this person, look how many subs they have. And there are people who get marketed that way. And then you have some people who have, those people who are thorough with a large following, they've been doing it for a while though, and they don't compromise themselves. You have to understand that. You're going to attract who you're supposed to attract. And that's my opinion on a lot of things in life. I want to attract legit people, thorough people, respectful people, people who come from a place of truth, people who come from a place of just trying to connect, the spirituality connection. All right. I'm not here to berate you. You're not here to berate me. You're not here to browbeat me into an opinion. I'm not here to browbeat you into an opinion. Here's what my opinion is. Here's my channel. Here's what I think. You do what you need to do with it. But that's where we're coming from with this, right? And so I appreciate people who leave those comments, but I also believe in the fact that I'm going to attract who I'm supposed to attract when I'm supposed to attract them. And I'm a North Node in Taurus, and I just have to, like, be patient and want authentic people that I connect with on my channel. I can't control who comes to my channel, but that's what I'm hoping to attract. Like, I don't know if you're here for glitz, glamour, if you're here to be elevated, if you're here to complain about your life and not fix it, my channel's not for you. Nothing in my life that I have has been because I sat on a couch and complained. And I'm not berating or disrespecting people who have legitimate issues. Depression is real. I'm sure we've all gone through periods in our lives where we felt depressed. Some people more than others. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact of people who say, oh my gosh, everyone in my life is horrible. It's because of astrology in my chart. No, get up, find some new people to be around. right? Find people who raise your vibration. Find people who are in your corner. Don't engage with everybody. Everyone does not have to be a part of your life just because they came around you. That is what we need to do. We need to understand that we have more power than we think. And that's, again, time, experience, listening to yourself, right? And sometimes something's going to look beautiful and it's going to have a nice little package and you're going to want to go for that, but that's not your journey. You might have to go down that bumpy road to really get to the rainbow or whatever you're trying to get to, that beautiful scenery of what your life needs to be. Sometimes you have to go through that windy road to get there, whereas somebody else is going to have a nicer road, but it's going to lead to nowhere because they're not doing the work. So that is it. This is already like 29 minutes. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you. If you resonate with this or have any additional thoughts, please drop a comment. Thank you for watching.